Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a well-hydrated episode of the Everyday History Podcast.
Ah,
I could hear you drinking before we recorded, so I had to say that. That has nothing to do with the topic today, and you don't know what the topic is.
or
I'm
does
Dustin
it?
Lloyd, or does it? And with me, asking the relevant questions, is Tristan Boo Boo Kirby.
Today, tastefully called Sarge Kirby, because for those of you that know us for real, know that I now have a mustache.
He is the wearer of stashes, according to our little video chat thing here. Oh, so you have no idea what the topic is. It has nothing to do with being hydrated.
Oh, no, I don't.
Today, we are going to take a look at the history of stocks.
Stocks? Like the stock exchange?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And full disclosure, I had to Google a lot of the fucking words used today, so I've tried to break them down into everyman lingo. Because,
Right.
Jesus Christ, I had so many times I had to stop my research and be like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, what the fuck's a dividend?
Cash? What the hell?
What is cash? Can't even say that. It just sounds funny.
Dollar.
Bull
Oh.
and bear market. Huh?
oh, I got that one.
Oh, I like bears.
Bears. So, what is a stock? I don't
What?
know. We'll figure it out later.
What is a stock indeed?
Well, a stock, its definition's kind of changed over time. And believe it or not, we're going to go way back, for way further than I thought, honestly, to look at the origins of stocks. We're going to ancient to medieval times.
Okay, I was kind of hoping for Homer, but I guess
Oh, I don't know. He could be in here. He could be. We'll,
he
we'll
might
find
be.
out. When I say ancient times, I mean like 16 to 15 BCE, which is way back.
Oh shit.
So a stock was defined differently, obviously, than we define it now.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, there was no such thing as a stock like this, like what we have today in Wall Street and all that. But people
Right.
would invest in trading trips or business, but it was all like private deals. There was no overruling governing agencies seeing that everything was on the up and up.
Okay.
So it
So
was more like
also no
huh?
regulation there either.
No.
Damn.
But it was more of just like investing in a. They'd invest in shipping, like bringing stuff over here, and if whatever they brought over here made a profit, everyone would share share the profits. If they lost money on it, they would share the losses. Just that kind of thing. It wasn't really what we look at as a stock nowadays. I mean, kinda
Yeah,
rudimentary.
I guess it's so. So it sounds like it's somewhere in between the delicious broth and modern stocks is where we're at currently.
Yeah, kind of. Because I mean, you didn't own part of the company by buying a stock, which is basically what stocks rudimentarily are now. You technically own a part of a company if you own some stock in it.
That's right. You out there with
Um,
your 1/1000th of a stock in Tesla, you own Tesla.
yeah, in the most in the most not owning way possible.
Right. We
Yeah,
are we are we are being very liberal with the definition of ownership here.
very. So we didn't really see real stocks as we know them until around the 1500s, 1700s, 80, not BCE. That's when a stock became a piece of ownership in a company, and you could buy and sell the piece, and you might earn a share of the profits or dividends.
Okay. All
But it
right.
wasn't until the exact date, 1602, in
Good
which
year.
the Dutch, yeah, it was a great year. The Dutch East India Company was founded.
Ah, okay.
And
Okay.
probably heard of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of a big name. It was the first in the world to sell stocks to the public.
Got you. So is this like, given that you've researched a little bit, do you know
Yeah.
if this was just an elaborate ruse to get people to fund their expenditures? Like they're like, oh no, hey, you'll own this shit. It's gonna be very successful. I promise. Scout's honor.
No, I don't. I don't think it was so much of a scam, if that's what you were
Devious.
implying. But I think it was more of a way to publicly fund the company while still, everyone still benefits.
Right.
Hopefully,
Okay.
hopefully, because
Maybe I'm
there
just
was a
evil.
there was a high level of risk associated with trade in Asia at that time, which is kind of the reason they had this private ownership structure. I'm probably reading that wrong, but it would help their selling of stocks would help them finance more trade defenses and things like that, and
Okay.
political endeavors. Things to kind of keep them safe overall.
Right, right, right.
And they had 1,143 investors subscribed. They call it subscribed
Wow.
for the equivalent of $100 million today.
Damn.
So yeah, they made a fortune off of this, and it became a huge thing. Obviously, we're still talking about the trade, or we still talk about the East India Trade Company. I think there's even some type of reference to it in Oblivion.
Yeah, or yeah, there's like the Imperial something something. Yeah, there's like the
The
Imperial
Imperial, yeah, it's named
Trading
almost
Company.
identical to it in a
Yeah.
way. So yeah, it's still like it was a huge thing, and I'm trying to see how long exactly it went on.
20.
All right, so it from what I can read, and I should have done this research earlier, but East India, sorry, the Dutch East India Trade Company.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it. God damn it, I've just missed it.
Line.
That line. God, I'm gonna hate myself editing this one. I could already tell. That's why I wanted this one out of the way now because I knew it was gonna be a tough one. So basically, it was the foundation of the European Options Exchange, which was the stock market of that area, the European stock market.
Mm-hmm.
That was founded in 1978, and it kind of, they kind of that was kind of born out of the ashes of the Dutch East India Company, and yeah, it later became merged with a bunch of other things and technical stuff that I can't really get into. I don't understand stocks, guys. I'm just going to say it right now.
Right. We are not investors here.
No, no, but basically, it was the foundation of the stock market as we know it today.
Yeah.
So,
And if you saw the title of today's video and you thought, oh, wow, I'm going to get helpful insight into maybe how to diversify and maybe even profit from my portfolio, and I'm here to break your heart and say, no,
we'll break
absolutely
your heart
fucking
even
not.
further and say you're not going to learn shit.
No, no. Well, you might learn that the stocks we're talking are, in fact, not the delicious broth, but the
Oh
money
yeah,
kind.
yeah, yeah. That you might learn. Everything else is kind of up in the air. So we're going to move forward to what was called the Age of Speculation,
Ooh.
which was between 17 and 1800, and things changed then because stocks became a way for people to get rich quickly or get scammed, you know, dramatically.
All right, you win some, you lose some, champ.
Yeah, and that's when it was in 1720, the South Sea Bubble in the UK occurred, which of course is a very UK sounding thing.
Right, the South Sea Bubble of 17, who can remember?
That was kind of, and I'm making things sound more modern than what it actually was, but it was basically the equivalent of some of the meme coins we see today, because
God damn it, no.
they promised huge profits. Tons of people bought into it, but it was mostly all hype. And when the price crashed, everyone lost their fortune.
Oh,
So
no.
that came around because there wasn't any rules. There was no regulations.
Oh, I'm
So
glad that part changed.
oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, to to break it down a little bit further than just, oh yeah, everyone did this and they lost money. The prices the prices started at 128 in January and jumped to 175 in February. So hey, you're gaining money, right?
Aroo, all right.
And then it ballooned to 330
To
in
the
March.
moon, baby. Hold on for dear life.
And then it finally hit $550 a share at the end of May.
Oh,
And it rose. God, it looks like it. I'm looking at a chart. It's kind of hard to research this thing, but According to a chart, it almost hit £1,000 per share. I had said dollars earlier, but it's pounds because we're talking about Britain.
Britain.
And that's when it crashed.
Oh, because
So
everybody's like, man, look at how much it's worth. Let's sell it.
yeah, it crashed significantly. And
Damn.
yeah, so that of course was not the end of these stock companies trying to milk people out of their money, but it was definitely the first significant time that this has happened.
And the world's like, no, no, no. We won't do that again. I promise. Scout's honor. That'll never happen again.
Never again. And as you can see, it's never happened again at all.
No.
And they passed the Bubble Act, which is so great.
God damn it.
The Bubble Act of 1720, basically because of this, to secure certain powers and privileges intended to be granted by His Majesty. I'm not reading all of that, but basically it was to kind of help, this whole thing. The reason they call it the Bubble Act is because they called that a bubble, when it popped up and went real high.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the bubble popped, that's when the the stock market collapsed, and. So basically, yeah, it started to begin the age of what's the word I'm looking for? Regulation. God, that was a hard word to fit. The age of regulation for these things began then. So
Their shit tanked,
good.
And legend has it they're still eating beans on toast to recover to this day.
That's why none of their food is seasoned. It started there.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Having trades with other countries getting spices and stuff sounds good on paper, but it's very impractical and often not very profitable. I'll take my plain beans and toast, thank you very much.
Who needs that salty, spicy salt? God, I messed that one up.
I don't need things like flavour. I need sustenance, alright?
Right.
Right, what's all this then?
What's all this then? And there goes our European market.
Sorry, guys.
Not sorry.
America.
Shut up and eat your bangers and mash.
Right? Have a nice spoonful of Griminies and Jim Jim.
Oh, so we're gonna move forward again to the foundation of the modern market, which was 1800 to around 1900-ish.
Okay.
And the stock became more of a secured ownership. Like it was more of officially owning a part of the company instead of just, oh, hey, you buy this and you own part of the company. And then they, take all of it. That they had rights, like they could vote if they held enough ownership, and they could earn money if the company did well, which was promised earlier and didn't happen.
Right.
And
sorry guys, we just keep hitting rough patches. I don't know where your money's at.
Do you remember? I remember seeing it most prevalently in The Simpsons, but those little ticker tape machines where they printed off stock in real time.
Yeah.
I remember that because Mr. Burns had one, and it was like sometime in the 2000s when that episode aired. But which it wasn't there around anymore. But that was first made in 1867.
Wow.
So really showing Mr. Burns' age there.
Yeah.
But it was around this time that railroad companies began to sell stocks to fund their projects, and this helped grow the economy, but sometimes led to those bubbles again when things would get too high and they'd pop.
Guys, please, you're helping us too much. We're too irresponsible.
And I am not an economist. I knew I'd get that out. That's almost like me trying to say ornithologist.
Hey, you did it.
Nah, I did it that time because the pressure wasn't on. I was on the other word.
Ornithologist.
Oh, you can say that, but you can't say bluebird? Oh, you got to
drop a comment if you got that reference.
Yeah, drop a comment. We'll send you a shirt. No, we won't.
Come on, folks. We got a warehouse full of them.
So I cannot even begin to get into the details on why stocks crash and pop or bubble up and all that and all. I don't understand it to that degree, but apparently when things get too high, things go bad. So if anyone wants to elaborate in the comment section, go ahead and we'll feature that in an
I,
upcoming
I,
show
I
because
think
I
I
don't
can
get it.
sum it up quite well. I think I could sum it up in a neat
Okay,
little
okay, okay.
sentence. Mo money,
Take a shot, Sarge.
mo money, mo problems.
And there you have it. All right,
I'm
no more
pretty
questions,
sure
guys. Comment section's
prominent, yeah,
closed.
right? Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to comment, like, and
And that's
subscribe.
been the stocks. Hashtag Mo Money Mo Problems. Oh,
It's true though. I mean, when you have more money, it kind of you change your lifestyle and you buy things that yesterday you couldn't afford, and you're like, oh, this is nice. I don't want to go without this. I think,
yeah, like podcasting equipment.
yeah, right. When am I ever gonna use this shit again?
Oh, so let's move to the. Oh no, I left my research page. Hold on.
Oh,
Let's move on to the 1900s through 1945.
oh no, shit's
And
happening now.
and what does stock mean now? And remember, this is when things got really bad for some people
Right.
in
Keep
this
in
time
mind,
frame.
folks, we have established it is not the delicious broth. Okay, so quit answering that. Okay, we're not gonna respond to that anymore.
This is when everyone, a couple years after, 1900, would start to feel what was later known as the Big Sad.
The bigly sad in
The
America.
Bigly Sad, where everyone was just down in their feels.
They're fucking sad.
Bunch of sad boys running around Wall
Right?
Street.
They were eating fucking horse and drinking titty milk. Like it's a miserable fucking existence.
And
You ever read or watched Grapes of Wrath?
no,
There's like some pregnant mom in there, and she like breastfeeds this grown man who's dying.
oh my god.
It's just during the Great Depression, so like there's no fucking food, and they're out in the middle
Uh,
of the Dust Bowl and shit.
gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Guess I don't
Oh,
know. I'd have probably just let the fucking dude die. Be like, fuck no. You kidding me?
yeah, yeah.
That's fucking weird, dude. I don't care if
Give
it's
me,
decent.
give me that titty milk.
Yeah, fuck you.
So during this time frame, what was a stock, right? We've already we're seeing
Right.
the development of how they
Someone
become
kick
more
that guy
modern.
out who keeps saying broth. I'm gonna fucking kill you if you say broth one more time.
What is beef stock?
God damn it! No coats. Get him out. No coats.
So it was still a piece of ownership, but there was now more regulations because why not?
They're like, you owed it, but not really.
Uncle Sam stepped in and started protecting regular investors by regulating the stock markets. Okay. Now, here's where things got bigly sad.
Oh no.
1929, the Wall
Oh.
Street market crashes. Here's what's really
Shit.
fucked up, and I'd forgotten about this, but many people borrowed money to buy stocks.
This is what led to the establishment of the FDIC, right? Because banks couldn't pay
Yeah.
back, or that nobody could pay back the loans they took out from the banks, so banks ran out of money and shit, right?
I believe so, but I know for sure it started the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Okay.
So that was to protect the company or to protect the consumers, and I believe you're right about the FDIC. I believe that was to protect the banks and its customers.
I can't remember what that acronym stands for. I know the F is federal because I'm smart and I know that. I don't know what the dick means.
I got the F. I don't have the dick.
Story of
So
my life.
the FDIC stands for Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Oh,
So
corporation.
it's a United States government corporation that supplies deposit insurance to depositors in American commercial banks and savings banks. So it's more to protect the consumer.
Okay, like if the bank were to close tomorrow and you had $2,500,000 in there, they're like, "Oh, don't worry, you still got that."
Yeah, whereas
Whereas,
before
like
that they were like, ah, shit, sorry.
sorry, dude, wrong bank.
And it's gone. And that I was wrong. That was, or I guess we were both wrong. That wasn't established until 1933.
Okay, so after we've done been feeling
Yeah.
we've done been going through like something's got to change, guys. Please.
Yeah. But it was the instability of the
I'm
instability caused by the Great Depression that led to it anyway. But it just took a little bit of time.
Okay. Good to know.
FDR was like, yeah, I don't know about all that.
He's like, I don't know. It sounds like they just chose the wrong bank, if you ask me.
Sounds like a bunch of hoopla.
Hoopla!
So the SEC,
Hoopla!
the SEC was started in 1934. So that was, more directly as a response to the Great Depression or the Big Sad.
They're like, please, I'm going crazy for eating all this horse. I don't have
All
anything
this
to tend
horse
my
and titty meats.
fields.
I'm too depressed to do shit.
I don't even want to get out of bed, man.
Oh, it was the economy that was depressed, not the people. Never mind. Moving on.
Ah,
Oh, well, I'm
big
sure that would
country
lead to
said,
depression
you
of all
fucking
sorts.
stupid.
So technology, again, as it does, changes everything. So from 1945 to 2000, stocks saw another upgrade. They became easier for everyday people to invest through retirement accounts and mutual funds. And computers later on made things much, much easier and faster.
Right.
So, what is a mutual fund?
What is a mutual fund? Is that where both you and the institution put into an account or something like that? Or am I
Probably not.
wrong? You fucking stupid.
The definition I could found is basically it's a group of many stocks managed together. So I guess
Oh,
it's like, oh, but I just really wanted to be like, probably not. Just act like I didn't know the answer either. So Nasdaq. Do you know when the Nasdaq? We hear the Nasdaq all the time. Oh, the Nasdaq fell. Oh, the Nasdaq's doing
mm-hmm.
great. Do we know what the Nasdaq is?
No.
I was hoping you'd guess again, so I could say probably not.
National Advancement for Sex, Dick, and Queefs.
Wow, you're really close, actually.
Damn it. I knew it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, it's National Association of Security Dealers Automated Quotations.
Oh, well, now you're just splitting hairs. That's pretty much what I said.
Splitting hairs here. Oh, I might have to bleep that. I don't think that word's allowed on Spotify. So yeah, the Nasdaq came around in 1971, and it was the
Okay.
first fully automatic, fully electronic stock market, which was great for tech companies. So that was pretty cool, I guess. I don't know what it means. I'm sorry, guys.
I know there's
So
that one, and there's the Dow, right?
yeah, there's the Dow Industrial.
Dow Jones, attorney at law.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average, or simply known as the Dow, is a stock market index of 30 prominent companies listed on stock exchanges in the United States.
Okay. So,
I'm going to
So
tell you
the-
what that means.
yeah, please. I'm
It
struggling.
means jack shit. I don't know what that means.
Great, great.
Basically, what it is it's like they take the stocks of, if I'm understanding this correctly, someone feel free to correct me because I don't know.
Yeah, please. He loves being corrected.
But basically, the index, it basically gathers these bigger companies, and they got 30 companies at the moment. I don't know if that fluctuates or not, but it approximates their rise and falls and makes an average out of it.
Okay.
And
So
each one has their own weight to the index, depending on how big of a company are. And I can read off a couple of these companies to tell you, which ones affect that index,
yeah,
if that helps.
Yeah, please.
There's some big names here. There's Amazon.
Oh, big Amazon fan here. Love
There's
Jeff Bezos. Love him.
There's Apple,
Oh,
Boeing, Caterpillar, Chevy, Chevron, not Chevy. Coca-Cola, Disney,
damn.
Home Depot. We've got McDonald's. We've got
Walmart.
Microsoft, Nike, Nvidia, which makes
Okay. That's like computer. It's that.
yeah.
Computer
I
parts.
think they make the graphic card that's in this badass computer I've got right now.
Yeah.
And we've also got
Fire it up. Listen to that baby purr.
oh yeah, listen to that thing growl. Sorry, just trying to play Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Love that game.
Shout out to our boy Henry.
Right. Love you, Henry. Henry of Scallots.
Henry
can
Scallots. Oh, I guess I should have took that perk. Oh, yeah, I took that
Well,
perk. Anyway,
well,
lastly, rounding it out, I mean, there's more others here, but there's Verizon, Visa, and Walmart. So you big
so
heavyweights.
are these the companies that you often hear the term "too big to fail"? Like, is that you think what
Every
we're
company I
referencing?
see here is probably too big to fail. So probably,
Like, I know Walmart is like one of the number one employers for
yeah.
uneducated folk like myself.
And yeah. Goldman Sachs is in here. Sachs.
Sacks,
Like,
golden
there's
sacks.
some
Oh, rub it in.
Johnson and Johnson, J.P.
Oh,
Morgan. I
come
mean,
on.
yeah,
The
like
dick
all the
jokes just write themselves.
Johnson and Johnson. So yeah, a lot of the biggest companies are part. And I mean, I don't understand. I'm not gonna pretend like I understand anything more than that. But it's basically the average of the ups and downs of those stocks are what sums up the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So what does that mean? Nothing. We're gonna move on. I'll let you
Right?
choke
Fucking
first.
dumb, boring, stupid.
So in 1987, there was an event known as Black Monday. Have you heard of that one?
I have. I'm not sure what it pertains to, but I know.
And it has something to do with stocks. We've learned because that's the topic we're on.
Right. I'm gonna guess it's not the broth. All right, I thought we threw that guy out of here. God damn it!
No, you're still here.
God damn it! Hey, help! Get off of me! All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to
So
fight that guy.
basically, what it was, I'll just explain it as it happened. So the New York Star before the New York before the New York Stock Exchange opened on October 19th, 1987,
Oh,
there was pent up pressure to sell. And I'm reading this directly from Wikipedia. If anyone's wondering, I'm sorry if it sounds just like I'm reading a Wikipedia article. I'm going to
he
try to
is.
break it down. I am. In this particular instance, that's what I'm doing.
He's plagiarizing like a motherfucker right now.
I
Call him
am.
on it, folks.
I'll change a
Comment below
word.
and give him a hard time. Do it.
I'll use some pronouns if I have to.
Oh no, no, please.
So there's a fly that's bothering the fuck out of me. I'm sorry.
It's
Hold on.
okay.
I'm going to kill this fucker.
That's the studio fly.
I missed him. And by studio, we mean my living room. Moving on. And by fly, I mean my cat. Yeah, for some reason there was pent up pressure to sell. The market rose or market opened, and a large imbalance arose between volumes to sell and buy. Apparently, more people were buying than selling, or sorry, more people were selling than buying, which sent like things into a tailspin. And they even delayed trading for a period of time to try to like balance it out, and apparently that didn't work.
Damn.
So 11 of the 30 Dow Jones Industrial stocks opened late because of it, because it was such a huge imbalance.
Shit.
So that day, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by 508 points, which was 22.6%.
Ugh.
Yeah, and basically caused chaos. And
Hysteria, panic. Oh no.
yeah, I'm trying to see if there's like any significant things.
Milk is gonna
Well,
be $15.
Wikipedia uses the word market meltdown. I don't know what that means, but it sounds fucking dramatic.
I like it. Market
But
meltdown.
yeah, it basically caused this huge crash, and people were freaking out. And what made it worse was the technology, actually, because computer programs were selling stocks automatically. So technology, huh?
Right. So great.
So great. So we're gonna move forward to the internet era, the 2000s through
Oh
2020.
shit.
Yeah, stocks are now fully digital. There's no paper necessary. You can buy and sell stocks online from your phone or computer.
Yeah, no shit. I've actually a couple years ago I was starting to get into stocks. I used this app called Webull.
Oh yeah, that's fascinating. Moving on. No, I'm
All right, shut the fuck up. I'm John
you,
History Podcast. God damn it.
did you ever have any like gains out of it?
Fuck no. I'm too impatient.
Ah,
Stocks are you know, that's I think that's and honestly while we're on it, this new wave of like investment options and shit might, in my uneducated opinion, and I have no like fundamental understanding of any of this stuff, but like crypto trading is real popular now, or at least it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And that's such a volatile market that if you pay attention, you can make money off of it. If you pay attention when to buy and sell, you look at the highs and lows and stuff. But
Yeah.
everything I've read as far as like having a portfolio and having stocks and shit like that, that's like real investment. Like I ain't gonna make a buck tomorrow. At the end of the week, unless you're able to buy like big shares where it would net a profit. But for a fucking little peon like myself, I'm putting like $20 a paycheck into my whole
Yeah. And
portfolio.
and you might get a nickel back if you're lucky at the end of the
Yeah,
week.
right, right. So like they did offer like dividends and stuff, which is the payoff from your stocks rising. Definitely not falling, because if they fall, you just lose. I mean, you just bye bye money. That's it. But but see, the problem is that like I have, and I'm not trying to advocate for like some kind of gap, because I feel like you fall into the trap sometimes of like if you require some kind of education for something, you almost bar a certain part of your population from
Yeah.
partaking in that. And of course, I would never advocate for that, because I'm a stupid, uneducated man, and I'd be voted against my own self interest here. Come on. That being said, I think if you're just looking to make a quick buck, stocks are not the way to go. Now they've got all these penny stocks and shit now,
Yeah. Yeah.
like Acorn and Robinhood and shit like that.
That's actually moving ahead a little bit in our timeline.
Okay, well let me
So tell you what, let me
back it up.
let me rush through this because there are two important notes that we need to mention before moving on. Or well, it's three. And 2000 was the dot-com crash, where people invested in internet companies that ended up not being profitable, and chaos
Damn it.
ensued. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I still had no idea what it was because I was I'm not going to show my age here, but I was a kid. So
Right.
we'll leave it at that. Uh, so 2008 came, which I'm not going to mention how long it'd been since I graduated when that happened.
You already told on yourself, motherfucker.
I graduated a year early, if that helps confuse anybody. And I've got nothing to show for that, by the way.
I'm so confused. How old are you? How old are you?
I'm either 20 or 40, you figure it out.
Somewhere between yes and no.
So in 2008, the financial crisis, or a financial crisis occurred, which was bad mortgage loans, which caused the housing market to crash, right?
Uh huh.
And of course, as they do for whatever reason, stocks dropped and the government had to step in and be like, hold up, let's fix this.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
2010, they passed the Dodd-Frank Act. I don't know who Dodd or Frank are, but
Lame.
it was a new law that kind of helped put more restrictions to prevent risky behavior by banks and improve market safety. I don't know what that entails because it's too technical. I tried with all these things today. I tried to research hard into, and I couldn't understand a lot of the words being used.
Thanks,
I just
Obama.
I just don't understand financials.
Right, I'm like the worst person when it comes to money. I'm so fucking horrible.
I manage a kitchen. I can't manage finances.
I don't manage shit, so it maps.
Let's see if we can manage to get through the rest of this.
So far, not good.
Not good, not good. So so now we're going to move on to 2020 into now, but I think it actually started before that because this was the app generation. So
Yeah.
where you could buy and sell stocks on your apps. They got specific apps. Like, what was the one you mentioned?
Oh, there's Weeble,
There's Webull,
Robinhood,
there's Robinhood, there's Acorns.
Acorns.
There's a couple others that I've looked at but never really used. I've used Robinhood.
Yeah, I know the ones that have a lot of money for marketing because they're fucking God. You can't get enough of those
Oh
fucking
yeah,
commercials. Become an investor
yeah.
today. Don't tease me with some kind of fucking brilliant title that'll make me feel great, and then I'm just gonna lose because I don't know what I'm doing.
And the glorious thing with these stocks now is you can buy fractions of a stock with these apps
Yeah,
instead of buying like a full on, fucking. But
Th- that's why I
I
fail to see how it's profitable because like like Tesla stock. I don't know what the fucking and fuck Tesla. That's my opinion, not the Everyday History Podcast's opinion. That is Sarge Kirby's opinion. But anyway, I'm pretty sure before Elon ran his mouth and was all stupid and shit, the shit was up to like $1,000 a share when I was looking.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was way up there at one point.
And so, like, I'd toss like a buck or two into that because at the time, it's fucking electric vehicles, man. It's on the horizon. However, there's just no profit to be made because, like, if I had bought like 10 shares, if I bought like 10, or sorry, if I had bought, are there like pieces of stock? Is a share a piece of a stock?
It's a fragment of a stock.
Okay, if I were to buy like 10 stocks. 10 of your finest stocks, please.
Bring me your finest 10 stocks, sir.
And the shit went up like another 100. Well, that'd be an extra 1,000 I could get from selling all 10 of those. But like if I'm paying like fucking 10 cents for a fraction and the shit goes up, I fail to see how that would do anything other than like I'm just helping them succeed and they're using my money to do it. I'm not actually getting anything out of this.
Yeah, yeah. And on a side note, politics aside, I do not like electric vehicles. And it's not like I said, nothing political. I just don't like modern vehicles. I like my old vehicles. The newest thing I've ever owned is a Honda Civic from 2008.
Well, have you ever talked to an electric vehicle?
I have driven a hybrid.
Oh,
and
God. God.
Well, did you ride with me on that trip in that hybrid?
Oh, and
in my brother's car.
Yeah, I did.
It was
actually
Hyundai Sonata.
Yeah. Yeah,
the reason this is probably the reason I've got a beef with any type of hybrid or electric vehicles. We made at least one trip to North Carolina, at least one trip there and back, and found out later that he had to return that car and exchange it because it was at risk of exploding every day he drove it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. We were at risk of.
It's a wee
we were
bit
driving,
of a fucking design flaw, I will admit.
We were driving a ticking time bomb that whole trip.
Shit.
So it could have like caught fire and exploded at any point on that trip. So now
but
I'm more
it
wary.
Didn't.
No,
it
no.
Didn't.
But I've never seen a 1992 Firebird just explode for no reason, so I'll stick with the older vehicles.
You got me there, sir. You got me there. And plus, you mentioned you got a Honda. I mean, well, that's like a forever car.
Let's not say that because of my luck, it won't start tomorrow when you say that.
Oh, no. Hey, just kidding.
No,
I'm knocking on wood.
Car. I do like older vehicles, though. Not old. Like,
right. Not like 2 miles to the gallon type old, but like...
No.
You buy it and you know it's going to last you for a while, both in durability. And people just, I feel, did more, like, maintenance on their own shit. I have no way of knowing this because I was born late into the 90s. I'll tell my age, Dustin.
I will say this, and I don't think either one of us are really car guys. Like, I couldn't go out there and like if my car wouldn't start tomorrow, I could open the hood and be like, okay, well the battery might be dead, and try to jump it. But I could change my tires and I could change the oil.
Yeah. I've been like something of a YouTube mechanic.
Yeah,
I've done a little bit, but like if it was something where I was like, all right, if I fuck this up, my car is just not going to drive, and that is not feasible. I will take it to a mechanic.
Yeah.
I got a little motto. Let the plumber plumb, baby. Let the plumber plumb.
But the thing I've found with, and I know we've gotten off on this side topic of vehicles. I'm sorry. But
deal with it.
The thing for me is like, I grew up on a farm. My grandfather had a Chevy. I don't know what it was. It was some big old pickup truck, right? From the 80s. You could open that thing up, open the hood. It's this huge fucking hood, right?
Right.
And you open it up and there's almost nothing in there. It's all pretty plain to see what's going on. You can just get on in there. But now you open up my 2008 Honda Civic, which is not that new anymore. It's almost an antique at this point.
It's almost old enough to drink.
You open it up and you're like, what the fuck? Where do I start?
I thought I bought a car, not a fucking spaceship.
And then coming back to my brother's electric car, or a hybrid car, opening that up and being like, oh shit, if I have to jump this thing I can't find the battery.
Right. I have to plug into an actual transformer at that.
Yeah, and the battery, I believe, in that car was actually under the front seat or under the back seat, so it could have blown
Yeah,
me
they
up at any
have them
point.
in weird fucking spots. I know.
Yeah, so that's why I hate any type of
Right.
hybrid or electric car.
Although, in
Nothing to do
to
with
their
politics.
credit, I think that choice of where the battery is has to do with how much that fucking battery weighs. Those
Yeah,
batteries are
it's all
heavy.
for a strategic reason, but I just don't like this vehicle
Right.
because I was driving a ticking time bomb, I guess.
Right. And I'm not privy to these details, so of course my primitive brain is like, that's stupid. Me no understand logic.
Which is a perfect segue to our next part of the show, the GameStop fiasco.
Oh yeah, we're talking about stocks.
Do you remember the GameStop? Uh,
I do. I remember gamers coming together and floating and keeping GameStop alive just for them to turn around and tell me, "Sir, I'm sorry, your brand new PlayStation 5, which I've never bought, you just bought yesterday, is only worth a fucking penny today because you drove it off the lot and depreciated." That is such bullshit. How are you going to be saved by the people that pay your fucking bills and then you're going to turn around and do that same bullshit? Boo Boo's bullshit.
beep, beep. We need to still make a song for that. It was basically called a short squeeze, which I don't know what that is, but
Ooh,
basically it's
sounds hot.
they do you know where it started, like where the rush started, like who is responsible for it?
Like, are you talking about their initial, like, they start tanking, or like the recovery, like we save them?
Who is responsible for GameStop's push upwards, like their stock being blown out of proportion?
Um, Got it. You know, the sad thing is that America's so fast paced. That just happened, like, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah,
Five?
2021.
Yeah, I don't remember. I can't remember the name.
It started with a subreddit
A subreddit.
called Wall Street Bets. And
What?
yeah, and this community was known for discussing meme stocks and high risk stock transactions. Just basically, it's all about taking a risk on the stock market, right?
Okay.
And I actually had just been introduced to Reddit around this time,
Yeah.
and so I remember getting seeing suggested, and Wall Street Bets was one of them. So I was around that. I wasn't really paying much attention, but I was part of the group. It just wasn't on Reddit that often, so I didn't really get to. I wish I would have taken a chance and
Right,
made
could have
some
seen
money.
it in real time. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But basically, people on Wall Street Bets thought that the company was being significantly undervalued. I don't know what the actual, what it was worth, but a bunch of them got together basically and were like, "Hey, we could trigger a short squeeze and just drive up the price to where short sellers could make money and cover their asses basically."
Yeah, yeah.
And that's pretty much what they did.
That's insane.
Yeah, they started it in January 2021, and they basically it was a coordinated short squeeze. So yeah, it fucked fucked things up. It caused high volatility, and I think they even stopped the market a couple of times. The stock price increased 1,500%
Oh my god.
over 2 weeks, and so. But they waited until a new CEO was announced for GameStop, so it looked like it was it looked like it was almost natural, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
this new guy's a part, so of course the stocks are going to go up because he's highly successful. He co-founded Chewy,
Oh, the
so
the fucking dog food, not food, but like
it's a
the
pet
pet
store
brand.
provider.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chew
my
it.
my fiance orders stuff from them constantly. Not that Chewy. So yeah, that it's basically yeah. It caused a huge thing and all that. It was crazy. I remember all
That's
that, but
crazy. I do remember hearing about that. You said it was 2021, right? When that happened?
yeah, pretty crazy time in general.
Yeah, it was a very eventful year, that one.
But I think that's enough for stocks today because I can't really divide
Right.
more into it. But we could just break it down a little bit and just go over something real fast because I wrote this out and I don't want to waste it.
Yeah. I
So
also have
I
some
wanted
things to say at the end.
all right, and I wanted to break it down here. So here's what we're going to do, and this will simplify everything hopefully. So the time period was I'm going to do the time period, what it meant, who could buy them, and how it worked. Okay.
Okay.
So in ancient times, it was private profit sharing deals, and the elites and merchants could buy them. And basically, it was just agreements. There was no public, marketplaces, so it was just personal agreements.
We had Anna.
Yeah. And so the 16th century up to the 17th, it was a share in a company. It was bought and sold, and merchants and nobles could do it. It was basically the first stock exchange, literally.
Okay.
Moving on, the next step was more speculative interests, which I didn't know how else to break that down because it wasn't really. It was basically people that were spectators could kind of get in on it. This is the best way I could think of putting it. So you could not be a part of the company, and you could purchase basically.
Oh, nice. Got to do none of the legwork to build the company up, but hell.
Yeah, that was the as you recall the Dutch East India Company.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So there was more of the people on the outside could join in a little bit. And there was no real rules or oversight. And then moving on, we went to the real ownership with rights and dividends in the 18th,
Dividends.
1900s, and
That's a fun
wealthy
word.
and middle class dividends. That's when the ticker machine came around, and that's what helped people keep up with it. And telegraphs also played a big part in that.
Oh, yeah.
So 1900 to 1945, going through the Great Depression, we had regulated investments with government rules, public institutions, and that's public institutions where you could buy them. I'm just reading my notes. I should have made more notes better out of this. Should have. I thought I could just read it and be like, "Oh yeah, I can put this into a sentence." Instead, I'm like, "No, just let me write my cliff notes here, and then I'll go piece by piece and remember to say this." And I'm forgetting to say it. So
That's all right.
the people who could buy them were, the public and institutions. That's what I meant to say, and I just put it into one word because I'm an idiot. It worked because there was SEC oversight that helped people buy these things, right?
Right.
So from 45 to 2000, it became it became easier to access through funds and retirement, through companies and stuff. Workers, retirees could buy into it, and it was basically computer-based electronic markets. I mean, there were still the phone calls prior to computers, obviously, but it started to move towards the electronic age. And from 2000 to now, we have a digital app-based fraction shares. That's what stocks are now. They're digital app-based and fraction shares.
Yeah.
Anyone with a smartphone can buy them,
Yes, you can.
and it's fast online and it's mobile. So,
It's convenient, and you never
well,
knew you wanted to do it till you saw that Robin Hood thing that told you you'd be cool if you did it.
and there we have it, the absolute worst episode of this show so far.
No way. Whatever.
I don't know. This might
This
be a rough
episode
one.
was fun.
It's rough.
One thing I would suggest, folks, if you are going to get into stock, from what I read,
Don't.
don't try to. Yeah, hold on, hold on. Yeah. But there's some truth to that. Some of the things I looked at, was looking to invest in, were things like startup cannabis products and shit coming here from like other countries and shit.
Smart.
Because I was banking on fucking Biden doing the federal, like, oh, it's good, you can do it. But no, of course, thanks, Biden.
Yeah, banking on the whole federal. It's all good. Everyone can buy it, and of course, no one's done that.
Right. Nah, of course not. Fuck us. So I was
Yeah.
looking at stuff like that. There's also 3D printing, still big, was big then. So I was looking at like different types of filaments that there were, like the material you used to 3D print with.
Oh, okay.
And there was some like liquid metal that they were talking about. This startup company had pitched the idea of, which I thought was really cool. Could see it being used practically for like construction and shit like that. So you got to follow trends and see the usefulness in things. Another field was biotech, medical, shit like that. Like actually, I could have kicked myself in the fucking balls the other day, dude, because I did have some like $70 invested in this startup company. But the good thing is that it was startup, so when it's under $1, you have to buy 100 shares of it.
Oh,
And I don't
okay.
know how many shares would have gone into an actual stock, but I had 100 shares, and it was for like this company that was looking for things like the little robots they have that fucking can do the invasive surgeries without having to do the invasive part and shit like that. But also, I'm pretty sure there was like this medical gel that they had pitched, like a biogel, and I just saw recently they just patented something like that. Not this same company, I don't think, but the idea is there, and that where there's smoke, there's fire. So that means we live in a capitalist country, so someone's going to see the success of that and make their own. So I mean, there's just room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I could have made something, but I was
Yeah.
like, I ain't making no money today. Fuck this shit. I
I
need this
had
money.
I had something similar happen in a way. In a way, I did some investing through Robinhood. I was doing the like you mentioned earlier, the penny stocks, the ones that are super cheap. They're under a dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, it's not. It's kind of like me. It's the same as like playing scratch offs. I don't play them very often, but when I do, I don't spend more than a dollar.
Right, right.
I'll buy a little one just to see if I win $2 back or something, just for the thrill, nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. Just the chance.
Yeah, and so I
Like,
bought like $20 worth of stock in this company. I think it was only like 30 cents a share. It was really,
mm-hmm.
really cheap. Might have actually been lower than that. I held on to it for like 6 months, and then finally, there was just it didn't grow or shrink. It was pretty much the same. I think I might have earned a penny or two off of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's just money sitting around. I could use that instead of just letting it sit.
That's how I felt eventually. It's like, man, this is getting me nowhere. I'm in a bind. I need this money.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't remember the name of it now, but I remember the name of it then, because a year later, I was just looking through stocks again and saw that one, and it had risen to like $100 a share.
Fuck!
They had, I looked into it, and they had made some sort. It was some sort of tech company, medical
Uh-huh.
company, and they had discovered some sort of medical tech they had released went super big.
Yeah.
Not like world shaking, but it was enough to be like, oh man, they're
Right.
onto
You would
something.
have had quite a bit of money.
Yeah, I wish I would have held on to that, but yeah, I looked at the chart and I could see where it spiked. It spiked like 6 months after,
Damn it!
but yeah. So if I would have held on for a year, I would have probably sold the day before it happened, most likely.
Yeah. And those crypto bros, at least in their subreddit, um, back when I was, participating and asking and inquiring about stuff like that, um, their motto is hold on for dear life. See it
Through
through
the
the rises
moon.
and falls. See it to its end, because that's really what an investment is paying for something now for the return later, right? I mean,
Yeah, you hold on
y
until you feel like you've made money.
to the moon. That's another one. I'll tell you another one I could have kicked myself in the balls for, man, was some of those meme coins you brought up earlier.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm sure you've heard of the fucking Dogecoin, and it's hard not to hear about that one. These fucking to buy these coins cost less than a fraction of a penny. So one time I owned millions, and I mean millions of these coins. Now, all this coin would have had to do was go up to a worth of a penny, and they promised I would make money. And you know what happened? It didn't reach a penny, but
You
it
didn't make
did.
shit.
When the Doge thing came, because there's no doubt that Elon gave platform to fucking memes in government. That is just objective fact. I mean,
Yeah, that's
Doge
that's
is a
how Doge
fucking meme.
became huge. Yeah, or not huge. I
That's
don't know if it got huge, but it was because of him bringing public exposure to it that it became a thing. Really.
which that whole idea thing spawned from a stupid AI. Anyway, that's not. Look at me. Anyway, so I had all those, and I was like, man, this shit ain't never go nowhere. Because Bitcoin had been tanking and stuff like that, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
the big players are declining, why the hell would the little guys have a chance? So I'm like, fuck this, selling it. I
yeah.
actually might. I actually don't know if I own them. I actually haven't been able to get in my crypto. It was like Coinbase was the trading app I used.
Oh,
I actually might still own 'em.
you could be sitting on a gold mine.
And I'll never know because I don't
Gold
have that
mine,
fucking
not a gold
password
mine.
anymore.
Oh,
Right.
well, we could go into a whole thing about that because I've heard so many stories of people losing their passwords and losing millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin.
Oh my god.
But I feel like cryptocurrency could be a topic of itself that I won't understand even worse than this. So
Right. Potentially a history of in the future.
perhaps. But as for now, let's pitch our stupid shit that none of you are going to actually buy.
Right. We
We've
got we
got
got T-shirts now.
we got t-shirts, and you can find the link in the description. And we've also got our Patreon, which none of you are subscribing to. Yay, you! Good
You
job.
break our hearts with that, but we understand. Times are
Next,
tough.
so next week we'll have another topic for you. See you next Tuesday.
You know what that spells.